Welcome back to another Around Mijas live stream.
Welcome back to another Around Mijas live stream.
I can hear myself in Mario's phone, I think.
I can hear myself in Mario's phone, I think.
Right, I'm going to just...
Right, I'm going to just...
I'm going to just take that out for the moment. Mario Bravo will be joining us this evening, and we're going to be talking about yesterday's council meeting. It wasn't a particularly long council meeting, but these days they seem to get a bit fractious. So hopefully Mario is going to join me in just a second. The council meetings, I have to say this, this is just a personal thing, and you can say it's because I'm not a native Spanish speaker or whatever, but I find them increasingly difficult when everybody is speaking into a microphone whilst wearing a mask. Okay, I think Mario has joined me, but I'm not very sure if we've got picture. Have we got picture? No, we haven't. Can you hear me, Mario? Hello, Mario. I see your network connection is very low. I think that's what the problem is. Okay. Yeah, but when everybody is wearing masks and speaking into the microphone, to be perfectly honest, they may as well be talking sometimes with a sock in their mouth, because I find it very hard to follow sometimes. The business in the council meetings, it's really pretty static. Usually the main lots of business are finance things. Mario has just left me again. There was a very poor connection there, so I'm not very sure what's happened. I'm sure he will be back in just a moment. Usually the main things that are happening, apart from approving the minutes of the previous council meeting, which everyone agrees on, there's usually a long list of finance things. Now, the thing is that very few of these finance things actually have to come to the council for approval. But usually it's when there's some kind of problem, usually because they have not been paid within, let's just say, the financial year, and now we're in a new financial year, and of course there's nothing in the budget this year for what should have been paid last year. And it doesn't really matter whether we agree with it or not, folks, because the two parties in charge of the council obviously have they have a majority, so they will vote it through anyway. Mario, can you hear me?
Yes, Bill. Sorry for that.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, we can't see you, but we can hear you perfectly well, Mario. Okay.
All right,
so
thank you.
I think we just go with that. I was just kind of explaining, Mario, that the business in the council meetings, really a lot of it is very routine, and it seems to always start with a bundle of invoices or bundles of invoices that have to be approved.
That is correct, Bill. And what we more complain about is that they want to deal with these bills in an urgent matter, even though the bills are for the year 2020, February, March, April. So while they have got 15, 16, or 17 months, they send those invoices to us the day before as a way for us not to pay too much attention to them.
Right, right. I mean, but well, I've only been on the council for just over 2 years, but this seems to have been a repeating pattern, that there's invoices. Usually, I was just explaining that they usually come to us because they haven't been paid in the year which they were budgeted for. So obviously that they have to be approved for expenditure because they're in a new year now.
Well, not only that, Bill. The most important issue is that those bills, that money has not been spent properly. Not only that they are from the previous year, but mainly because they haven't been paid properly according to the law.
And that usually means that the municipal auditor has put in some kind of block on it, or said, you know, that this doesn't meet the requirements. Yeah,
that's right. While an auditor in a company only see the accounts later when things have been done, the internal auditor in a town hall, which is called interventor, has to see the bills before they are paid. And here comes the problem. In this last meeting, this general auditor, the interventor, has pointed out very clearly that some expenses have been ordered, has been accepted without having money to pay for that. And when you are handling public money, that is a crime. A town hall cannot accept a liability without having the money ready for it.
Sure.
That is what they call credit retention, retención de crédito. So if the general auditor has not allocated money to accept a contract, that contract cannot be done. And whoever accepts a contract without a previous provision is committing a serious crime. And I think many of you have heard in the latest weeks about the situation in Catalonia, where several politicians spent public money in an illegal referendum. The courts have said that while this business is clarified, they have to return the money, otherwise their properties will be embargoed.
Yeah.
And this is what I tried to explain yesterday to our colleagues, councillors in Mijas, that they are committing a serious crime. This thing has been done during the year 2020 for a total of 28 million euros.
Right.
This means when you were talking before that this was like a pattern, in 2020, 28 million euros were spent illegally in Mijas Town Hall. That's why they had the negative authorization from this internal audit.
Right. Okay. So there's been an internal audit going on. Is it going on at the moment, or is it finished, Mario?
It is not exactly that. All these reports from our internal auditor goes to two places, one in Seville and another one in Madrid. The one in Seville sent the inspectors about 2 or 3 weeks ago to find out what is happening, because Mijas Town Hall has money, has 850 employees. It is not a small village lost in the mountains where perhaps people haven't got the knowledge nor the computers enough to do things properly. Mijas is a great city and things should be done properly. And this has rang all the alarms in this Cámara de Cuentas in Seville.
Yeah, it's like the accounts commission or something like that. We would probably.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have to say this, Mario. We're not really questioning, you know, if things have been spent in a sense inappropriately. What we're questioning is the legality of how the process has been carried out. Yes.
Correct. The government is free to use our money, but within the law. And the law has a lot of conditions. Yeah. So if they want to build a park or a road, they can choose because they are in the government, but they have to follow all the regulations when they start to do that. And sometimes they do things which are at least not convenient. And I gave this sample at the Pleno. For example, Mijas Town Hall has invested 5 million euros in building a warehouse, a place to store all the garbage trucks, which do not belong to Mijas Town Hall. They belong to the company that will be allocated the contract to collect the garbage. So what about if that company has already got a warehouse to keep all their trucks?
Yeah, sure.
What will we do with that place? 5 million euros invested for what? For nothing. Secondly, they have made a serious mistake. They have built this warehouse in an industrial area in the cross of Entre Rios. That is where the crane will tow away your car if you park illegally.
Right, yeah.
And that place has a problem. It has no water and it has no sewage. So they have finished that big warehouse, 5 million euros, as I said, but it has no water and it has no switch, so they cannot use it.
Right. Okay.
Which doesn't sound very clever. And
No.
you just have to compare this with something else. In 2013, the PP that was in the government at that time got for free, completely for free, and during 7 years, a warehouse for our firemen. But it was only for 7 years. 7 years is 7 years. So if you are in 2013, 7 years after is 2020. Even the socialists can make this easy operation. So during those years, they did nothing. And the year 2020, February, arrived. And they did nothing. So only now they have started to make a contract paying 6,000 euros a month.
Right. Okay.
So have this in mind. We have invested 5 million euros in a warehouse for the company that may be allocated the contract to collect the garbage. But regarding the fire brigade, which depend directly of the town hall because the firemen are our employees, we are paying 6,000 euros rental.
Right.
This is as far as I can see from common sense. And that is what we were discussing yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. And these things do tend to get a bit fractious, Mario, don't they? Even when a simple question is asked, it can sometimes turn into a bit of insulting. And
that's right. There were two issues that I tried to remember during the plenary. And these two issues are important. In February 2020, because the law of roads had changed, we could start a process to divert all the heavy traffic through the highway and keep the coastal road only for light vans.
Yeah.
And everybody agreed of that. I wouldn't say that they clapped their hands because the proposal came from the Popular Party, but everybody voted yes. That was February 2020. We are now in July 2021, and they have done nothing.
Yeah.
Completely nothing.
This is a big one, Mario, and I know that it's not up to the council to do this. It has to be done in cooperation with, I presume, central government. Yeah.
Correct, but the councillor is the one who has to start the process, and it is very simple. The town hall has to declare, has to prove with certificates that the road is in a continuous jam, that the road is dangerous because there are many accidents, and that there are many houses very close to the road that get contamination from the exhaust pipes and also from the noise. Any of these three conditions will be enough to do that. In the case of Mijas, we fulfill the three conditions at a time. So we have wasted now 1 year and a half, during which some people have had serious accidents in the road, and Mijas Town Hall could have avoided that.
Yeah. Okay, Mario, look, I'm going to just move on. There was something that we agreed on, and it was to do with roundabouts, yeah?
Yes.
I'm talking what people generally refer to as the McDonald's roundabout coming into
Correct.
And listen, I've got a short report from Mijas International, from Mijas 340, which I thought I could just play, and people can see some of the images. Okay, so if you just give me a moment.
Perfect.
We'll take a look at that.
The Mijas Town Hall, which has been working since 2019 on the general plan to improve access to Las Lagunas from the A7 motorway, presented a new modification yesterday, a change that will be undertaken by adapting a roundabout and some adjacent local roads in the area. Access will be created to Veronica Street in order to reduce the amount of traffic on the roundabouts. These are works that, according to the council, are urgent, as they will put an end to the current problems of traffic jams and retentions in the access nodes from the highway to Las Lagunas. In order to begin to undertake this work, it is necessary that the modification be approved in today's ordinary plenary session.
Okay.
I can say the same in better words.
Go on then.
I will start saying the truth. This project was started in 2014 when the government of the Popular Party. However, it is true that it is not only that they have been lazy, it is also that they need a lot of authorizations from the government.
Sure.
And in fact, what they are going to do is to leave exactly as it is, the roundabout very close to McDonald's, and they will act on the roundabout at the other side of the N340, at the north part. Because everything that they say about the access to Las Lagunas, they forget that that access is also to Fuengirola. It is in Mijas, both roundabouts are in Mijas, but many people of Fuengirola and also those who go to Coín go through this roundabout. So they are going to extend it. It will no longer be round. It will be like an oval.
Yeah.
And they are supposed to allow more traffic.
Right.
However, these people that before were from Podemos, and this lady, which is now an independent councillor, said something that is very true. The problem we have, the bottleneck, is exactly below the N340 because there are only two channels, two ways for cars, two lanes. While if you go to the other roundabout, the following one near Miramar, you have 4 or even 6 lanes below the road. So this lady was saying, why have not you asked the government to extend the underground place?
Right.
And the councillor only said half true. The half true is that, of course, if we ask now for that authorization, it may delay our work 2 or 3 years. But he could have asked for that 2 or 3 years ago, because he has been the councillor of the urbanism, of the building department, since 2015. So he has had 6 years to do it.
Right.
It is a pity that he had to wait for another councillor to tell him what to do.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, this bit, because it's going to cause huge amount of disruption in the short term. But having said that, I avoided those roundabouts at all costs. It was more like a car park than an actual roundabout.
Yeah, well, we could say something positive about this government. Not much, but at least a small detail. Finally, only 6 years after, they have completed some 300 meters that were still needed from the new schools to the Camino de Coín. So now you can go from the Camino de Coín to the road that goes up to Mijas from Fuengirola, through that line that goes through Avenida María Zambrano, Miguel Hernández, and Avenida de las Caracolas.
Right. Okay, Mario, I'm jumping about here, and I've got a question to ask, and we've just had another question, which I'll put up on the screen here. When will Mijas Ayuntamiento consider creating safe pavement for residents walking into the pueblo from the Osunillas area, the short, dangerous area near the BP service area? Do you know if there's anything on the cards for that?
I know the problem, and there is no answer. I mean, the problem is that there is a lot of people walking from Mijas to Osunillas, not only for sport, it is a nice walk, also because they live there and they don't want to take the bus. The bus is not continuous, it takes a long time. But there is an area exactly opposite the BP petrol station that has no pavement, so you have to share the road with the cars. And it is in a curve, so you cannot see which car is coming from, and the car cannot see you. So that corner is really dangerous. And this is something that people has been requesting for many years. And I think it is time now to get a solution.
And does that road belong to Mijas Council?
Yes.
People may not know that there are complications sometimes in some areas, because you want to do something on a road, but the road doesn't belong to the council, it belongs to the junta, or it belongs to national government or whatever. But
correct, but
the
the process of taking over this road started many years ago and finished about a couple of years ago.
Right.
So now there are no excuses. In fact, as a proof that this road belongs to Mijas Town Hall, is that we are going to build a big roundabout at the entrance of Osunilla, very near the swimming pool and the sport pavilion.
Right.
Because we can now, because the road belongs to us now.
Sure. Mario, I have another question that I'd like to put to you. This was a message I got today from a couple that they are international people that have bought a house. Now, you will know exactly where this is. These were the houses that were abandoned for a long time opposite La Vitania. And they've been getting finished off over the last year or so, maybe 18 months. And this couple have bought a house there, all the paperwork in order, and they went to empadronarse, so to sign on to the municipal register at this address.
Yes.
And they were told that, yes, we know these houses are there, but they're not on our system, so we can't put you on the padron. Is this something you've ever come across before, Mario?
Yes. In fact, when I bought my house that was built 40 years ago, that was 2005, I went to register in the town hall and they told me that my house did not exist and I could not register there.
Right.
So as a matter of finding a solution, they registered me in the other side of the road. That was the solution they gave to me in 2005. I know exactly the building that you mentioned. It is called El Lagar. It was built by a company called Lagar de Coavit that few weeks ago has been purchased by Neynor Homes.
Right.
And if they go back to Mijas Town Hall, I will make sure that they can register in that address, which now they have given a name to that road. They have called it the road from La Cala to Entre Rios.
Right.
I think that is a very long name, and it is not very useful because nobody knows where that road starts and finishes regarding the numbers. And everybody knows that place as Lagar Martel number 2.
Right, okay.
In fact, they had yesterday their first annual general meeting where they approved the budget of that community and other details that I can tell you later, because I have very close information about that.
So I can pass on to them that they need to go back and there is a way of getting them registered, because the thing is they want to apply, they're not British, so they want to apply for the European residency, certificate of residency card. Of course, in order to do that, they need to be on the padron.
It is unacceptable that the squatters or the illegal immigrants can get registered in 24 hours as soon as they come to Spain. And now some people who have bought a legal house with the licenses cannot register. That is something that we have to change. The civil servants in the town hall and the councillors are here to solve problems, not to create them.
Yeah, and this, you know, I think the lady or gentleman, I'm not sure, that they spoke to was very nice, and they said, oh yes, yeah, we know exactly where it is, but it's not on our system, so we can't padronar you.
Now, if it is not in their system, they will have to put it in their system, because that's what they are trained for, and that's what they are paid for.
Yeah, because, you know, not being able to do this, well, apart from the fact that Mijas will lose money because it's people that can't get on and get the money from central government.
That's right, correct.
It also stops them going ahead with the residency application because they're not on the padron, on the municipal register.
I think it is a good thing to remind to those who are listening to us today that Mijas Town Hall will receive 175 euros per year for every person registered in the padron, no matter the age, no matter the nationality, no matter even whether they are fit or they have a slight belly. The government from Madrid will pay exactly the same amount of money to every town hall in the whole of Spain, around 175 euros. So it's a waste of money having people living in Mijas not being registered in the padrón, besides being illegal, of course.
Okay, I shall pass this on to them. I'm sure they'll be happy that there is a solution or a way forward.
Of course.
Mario.
I would like to add something else, Bill, which I think it is important that was discussed yesterday.
Okay.
Everybody loves the nature, and many people in Mijas know the Bosque Chaparral, the forest in El Chaparral, which is 500,000 square meters. Even after all the disaster that the new promotion from Kronos called Eden has created, those 500,000 meters are still there. Right. And in February 2019, following a petition from the Popular Party, the 25 councillors then accepted to protect it, and also to include that in the Junta de Andalucía registry called Iceland Forest, or isolated forest. And they have done nothing. So I was telling the councillor yesterday that we are affording the risk of all that being destroyed. And the councillor, instead of giving me reason, he called me torpe, which is, I would say, useless. He was not insulting me, he was insulting the 25 councillors, including himself, who voted yes for this proposal. He was also insulting all those people who are members of the association Bosque del Chaparral, whom, by the way, had a demonstration outside the town hall of La Cala last week. So I don't think this is the way to reply to our colleague councillor, and it is unacceptable that an agreement done in March 2019 has not been carried forward 2.5 years after.
I think you know, development is something we have to live with to some extent, but I think people do get concerned when green areas like this, and I know it's, you know, without going into the complexities of it, you know, people appreciate living in an area where there is a small
piece of nature. Yes.
You know, places that they can take their dogs for walks, places they can take their kids for walks with a shade and whatever. Plus, it's like part of the lung of Mijas. And people are concerned that these areas will be sacrificed for the sake of development.
Correct, but while the project of Kronos, this Eden, was already approved in 1999 with our master plan, the forest of El Chaparral can still be saved, so we can still protect it. And that was the reason why in February 2019, I took this proposal to the plenary. And that's why I guess all the councillors said yes, because it was a good idea, not only because it came from me, because it came from the society. Everybody wanted to protect that. The fact that the councillor has done nothing in these 2.5 years, I have also information about the sale of those plots. They have been sold to developers. And be sure a developer doesn't invest money to lose it. If they have invested money, it is because they believe they will be authorized to build. And we have to stop that, and we have to stop it now.
Okay, Mario, I think our time is almost up. There were lots of questions. There is a kind of questions and petitions at the end of the council meeting. I don't actually ask any questions because I usually believe in what I call the NASA principle. That when you have questions in the pleno, it's never a straight answer.
Correct. If you are asking about the time, they will reply it is cloudy.
Yes.
That is their style. You ask for something and they reply about something else, or they simply do not reply. I made 5 questions. They did something similar to a reply about 3, and they simply disregarded the other 2. And they don't care, and nothing happens. And this has to stop. The pleno has to be respected by the 25 councillors, including the mayor. And if there are questions that cannot be replied straightforward for any reasons, they should be replied in writing within the following week or 10 days. That's how that's what people expect from the well-paid councillors of the government.
On that, you know, I really don't ask questions in the council meetings because when I have done, I've never had a satisfactory reply. But I am pursuing something, and I'm thinking about the internationals that live here in Mijas. I'm pursuing something with two of the councillors, one who deals with equality and the other one who deals with kind of community council ideas. And there have been events taking place, like putting together a policy for equal opportunities. There were no foreigners invited to take part in that. And I think, given that we're a third of the population, I think it's quite important that we're given the opportunity to participate in that and may actually contribute something to that process.
Yes, Bill, but it is not only that. They are not disregarding the foreigners only. They are disregarding most of the society. Because if you go out and ask people, do you think you will be able to find someone that know that there has been a contest, there has been a question from outside whether people wanted to move one of our 2 holidays from Mijas from the 25th of July to the 15th of October? Sure. We didn't even know. That question has been answered only to some friends of the government who have replied exactly what they wanted to hear.
Sure.
That's all. So there was no intention in getting the opinion of the majority of the population. They have asked only those that they could guess the reply.
Right.
It's a pity, but it is like that.
Mario,
but,
I
yes.
think our time is just about up. I think when I was saying goodbye to everyone last week, I said that it was Daniela that was coming on this week, and I'm thinking, how did I manage that? Because I knew you were coming on right after the council meeting. So thank you for joining us. Let's hope next time we're going to see your sweet face as well.
Yes, sorry for the camera, but I can promise you I have shaved and I have combed my hair. So I am really acceptable.
You're fully dressed and
yes, correct.
But
from up to bottom, not only halfway, from top to bottom.
So next week it will be Daniela Vink who is joining us, talking about community issues. Daniela being based in Calahonda, but involving people and what's happening and relevant issues for all over Mijas. Mario, thank you for joining me today.
You're very welcome, Bill.
For those of you who have listened live, thank you very much. We actually managed to get more live listeners than the council meeting yesterday had live. They managed to get up to 10. We got up to 11 today. So we did very well, I think.
We are ahead.
Have a very good weekend when it comes, and we'll speak. Actually, it's going to be a bit later next month, isn't it? Because the council meeting is on the 31st of August, which is
That's right.
Tuesday. So it'll be 5 weeks, I think, before we get back and talk about that. But have a great weekend, Mario. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for listening in. We will be back next week, same time. If you want to get notifications, please click a subscribe under the YouTube video, and you will get a notification that the live stream is coming up. Take care, everyone, and have a great weekend when it comes.